Well, thank you all for being out here. Again, really proud of this program. It is a game changer for working families. It's one more piece of that building blocks to making Minnesota the best state in the country for to raise a family, and we're off and running. And I think it's pretty impressive to get this thing going. Of all the implementations we have to implement as the legislature writes it, but by the 12th, we're going to have people receiving their payments. With that, I'll take some questions.
Governor, did you make the decision to end your campaign by yourself, or did you receive pressure from Democratic allies?
This is a decision that I make and make with my family, and certainly I think, as I said, it's the right decision. I'll note, I think it's appropriate we're here today. The war that's being waged against Minnesota, you're seeing it. We have a ridiculous surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with us that are for a show of the cameras. I'm going to note to all of you, today is January 6th. There's no debate what happened. The President of the United States led an insurrection against a fair election to try and overturn that and, report both sides of this. Well, he said he really didn't, and courts convicted 400 of them, and he pardoned them. No, he did that. He did that, and that's today. And it's clear that we also saw today he implemented 5 states are being punished with a freezing of federal funds illegally that were appropriated by Congress, our tax dollars. And I find it interesting that Minnesota, California, Illinois, and New York were taking that. The interesting thing is the biggest fraud trial in the country is taking place in Mississippi today with $100 million of welfare fraud. And I don't believe Mississippi was on that list. So look, this is a concerted effort to try and destroy the president's opponents, to destroy the rule of law. And it became apparent to me that he was going to do that with me being there. And I just feel, along with my family, that it's the best decision for Minnesota. And I feel very confident in that. I think it's going to be clear that Minnesotans agree with that.
Governor, can you talk about
so,
can you break down your conversation with Senator Klobuchar on Sunday?
I've talked to everybody.
Can you break down specifically the conversation with her? Did you recommend that she consider running? I spoke with all of the delegation, let them know. I spoke with a lot of key allies. I spoke with my family, and just let them know that this is what we were going to do. And Senator Klobuchar was one of those conversations. I think that we have a very deep bench. It's very clear to me. Again, I would mention this, that again, none of the people running for governor of Minnesota voted for this program. None of the folks running for governor condemned January 6th. And none of the people, the Republicans running for governor, had the damn common decency to Melissa and Mark's children have asked them to stop doing what they're doing, the president. The question I would ask all of you is, you need to ask those people running for governor if they would ask the president to please stop attacking the Hortman children and telling lies about this. And so I am very confident a Democrat's going to win this. My conversation with Senator Klobuchar was the same conversation I've had with many others.
Governor, there's been the constant drumbeat coming from Washington, from the White House to many of the different departments in Washington, talking about fraud and talking about you. What was the one thing that you heard that said, this is why I've got to step out? Was it that constant drumbeat coming at you, or was it more of a personal decision?
No, I think it's a personal decision. It's effectiveness. I never took this job to be governor. I took the job to pass things like paid family medical leave. I took this job to get our children food. I took this job, and what I'll continue to do for a year is I will protect every single person in this state. And I had an announcement to them on our LGBT community, especially our trans community: stay the hell out of Minnesota for the folks who want to hassle those people. These are our neighbors. So for me, it became, if I can be as effective doing that, and it's clear, look, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government every single day, and now it's reaching down into our commissioners. And look, what Donald Trump tweeted the other night put the Hortman children at risk. They have to look at security, put my family at risk again. What he's doing to the Somali community is absolutely unconscionable. And at some point in time, this is about, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I bug the crap out of Donald Trump. I would argue it is because I believe in public service. I've not enriched myself in office. I treat people with dignity. I agree to compromise with people. And the attacks on Minnesota are far beyond me, and it's hurting Minnesota. Here's what I have full confidence in is Republicans are going to lose races up and down the ticket, because where is their plan on health care as health care prices doubled? Where is their plan to push back on the president? Again, for God's sakes, the children of a murdered speaker, and they can't speak up and say, Mr. President, this is wrong, stop it. And you write a story that one retired legislator said it and one member. How can you not have every single one of them saying this is wrong? And I'm going to fight this without having to spend any time worrying about the politics of this. I'm going to fight it making sure that Minnesotans are cared for. I'm going to fight it by doing the respect that we should have for rule of law. So I just think all of you see this. It is just going to be relentless. Why 2,000 folks? What are they coming? Do they want to coordinate with us? You saw a U.S. attorney stand up, which would have been let go by any other administration, speculating about things with no factual information. That's defamation. That's coming from the U.S. attorney. We are under assault like no other time in our state's history because of a petty, vile administration that doesn't care about the well-being of Minnesotans. My job is to protect the well-being of Minnesotans. So the good news on this is Republicans are sure they're going to lose the governor's race dramatically. That's fine by me. I don't care who sits in this seat as long as it's not one of them who hurt Minnesotans. I care that it's somebody who understands and respects this office. Janet.
You just talked about the danger. Your daughter gave an interview talking a little bit about the danger. Was there any part of you, Governor, that thought when you were making this decision, did it cross your mind that not by any nature of what you've done, but just because of you being you and being the target, that people's lives were in
Yes.
whether they be so you felt that
Yes.
for Sophie Call and other that
Yes.
decision.
Yes, and for our Somali community, yes. Look, I'm on the list because whatever it is, they hate us. I may be on the list because of last fall. I may be on the list for whatever reason. But yes, that's exactly what it is. And look, I don't know how you spin the story other than him pushing that conspiracy theory. You don't have to listen to me. The Hortman children told you that. We shouldn't have to be talking about them. Respect their privacy. We just attended a wedding, which was a joyous day, with 2 empty seats from someone who's murdered. But, you know, there's rumors out there and all this. That is frickin' evil. And every one of you in this room knows it's evil. And that type of hate and those types of threats that are actionable, yes. And look, I'm concerned for my family, but I've got a little bit of protection now. My family, not so much. But what about Somali immigrants who are minding their own business? We've got 2,000 folks. We don't even know who they are. They'll be wearing masks, being here in Minnesota, harassing them. If you want us to fix fraud, come and help us. Come and help us do that. They're not interested in that.
Governor, have you given any thought to what's next for you after you leave office?
No.
You're only going to be 62.
No, I know. I'm going to run some more marathons. I'm going to defend my turkey trot title. I don't know if I told you all that I won my age group in the turkey trot. Look, I got a year of work to do here. I think it will be the most challenging year, and that includes probably COVID, because I caution Minnesotans, this is going to worse before it gets better. Everybody here knows, you will be nonpartisan and you will be fair in this, but the vast majority of the country knows this because Donald Trump's in trouble. The Epstein files need to come out. The economy's sinking. We're fighting a war in Venezuela. I will tell you one thing on this, that today, people in Minnesota, the work that we did and the bill that I signed makes their life a lot better. And I would ask those folks who think Donald Trump's doing the right thing, do you think not getting paid family leave and fighting a war in Venezuela has improved your life? Because if it is, I don't know what I can say to you to help you vote for something, but that's where it's going to go. For me, I'm going to do this work. To be candid with you, what I'm really good at is I'm a really good geography teacher. And I think that's something where I would find the joy in getting back in there, trying to teach, do the things that we want to do. Yeah.
Has the Optum fraud report come back to your office yet? Or when
Not analyzed yet. The one I got today, and I'll tell you just as a heads up on this, we got the Axtell report back on Capitol Security, and that's my next step on this. And I do want to kind of preview a little bit here. If Republicans think that I'm not coming to make us more safe around guns, they are sadly mistaken. They are going to take votes on protecting our children, or they're not going to get anything else done. When that report comes back, that will give us, I think, some idea where we're going. I'm excited to see and hopeful what Tim O'Malley's going to see. I think you're seeing this. I feel pretty confident right now that the plan on how to get there is getting pretty well laid out. I think the gap analysis of where there were gaps is pretty well there. I think we're going to have to figure out how we implement some of the safeguards in place. Probably have to come back to the legislature. It'll be interesting to see, and I really do appreciate that question about the fraud committee. If I'm not mistaken, this planned meeting on fraud in this program before it implemented was the very first meeting ahead of trying to prevent. I need the legislator to help me on prevention. It's pretty easy after the fact to say this happened. They're really good at that. They're not so good on the front end, so I think that would be good. But I just want to say again to all of you, incredibly grateful. I'm gonna make note of this. I had my team verify this. I've stood in front of the press more than any governor in Minnesota history and taken more questions from the press in Minnesota history. My team has provided more data under the Data Practices Act than any governor in history. And I'm going to preview for you now and I would ask all of you for the help on this. It seems absolutely outrageous and a gap to me. The only people who aren't subject in state government to data practices are the legislature. And we've had a pedophile in the state Senate that we got no information about. We have credible accusations of one Republican representative against another Republican representative that they committed fraud. We have a requirement that the House run an audit, which they did not do. You are the gatekeepers on this. Demand that there's data practices, and if they have emails showing that I have committed fraud, you should get those. Why aren't they putting them out there? Why aren't they turning them over to prosecutors? And right now, they are hiding behind a veil of innuendo. They're protecting the biggest fraudster in the White House. They are unwilling to acknowledge that January 6th was an insurrection. They are unwilling to stand with Melissa Hortman's children. And I want to tell you this, for those legislators who went and shed crocodile tears at her funeral, shame on you. Shame on you. Her children are asking you to do one thing in her name. It's to tell the president to stop doing this. That shouldn't be that difficult. So look, for Republicans here, I have more energy than I've ever had. I am committed to this state more than I've ever been. I love this state with every fiber of my being. I believe we are the best state. Have I been perfect in this? God dang no. I wasn't perfect as a teacher. I wasn't perfect as a coach. I wasn't perfect as a soldier, but I was pretty damn good at all those things. And I am committed to getting this right. And I will tell you what, if they think now, I mean, game's over for them now. It was all me. I was the bad guy or whatever. Well, put up or shut up now and tell us what you're going to do to make this state better. Answer these tough questions. Quit hiding behind this and expect for the next 11 months for me to ride you like you've never been ridden, to make sure that you're doing your job. I'm asking for your help. We need data practices with the legislature right now. You need to expect to get every one of my emails just like you have when you ask for them. Every one of my commissioners, you should be able to ask for those, which you can do, and we need to do that. Here's the thing that I'm going to ask all of you is, Republicans want to tear this state down. Republicans want to tell you it's too dangerous to walk down the streets. Republicans want to tell you there's nothing good comes out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Republicans want to tell you everybody with brown skin is stealing money or that they're not welcome here. They want to do nothing to improve this state. Their idea of improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making the state better. So you'll get to see me more. The good news is on this is that I got no election to look forward to. I've been in front of you. I'll call on who I want to call on, and I'll watch what the press gets written, and we'll make sure that in this state there's full accountability for everybody. Because buck stops with me. I'm accountable for this. And because of that accountability, I'm not running for office again. but I have a year to continue to improve on a record that I think will stand up against anybody's, a record that has made Minnesota better, a record that makes people want to come here, and a record that has respected not only the dignity of people, but the idea of rule of law and camaraderie. So the one thing that I hate is anytime I get drug into being next to Donald Trump, God help me, I don't want to be judged against that guy. Judge me against an average Minnesotan going out to do their job every day and being decent to their neighbors. So thank you all, and we'll be back.
Thanks, folks. Appreciate it.
We got it.